Do you know what this mystery coin is? Take a look. We have moving averages on our chart. Anytime this green line crosses above the red line, we have an explosion in price. Case in point, 2017, we had this green line cross above the red line and it went up way more than 10x. The next time it happened was 2020. And right when they crossed, that marked the point where we had an incredible explosion in prices. It was almost 10x. So we 10x'd in price in 2017 when we had this cross. We 10x'd in price in 2020 when we had this cross. Guess what? We just had this cross, hot off the press. Is this coin going to 10x? I'm going to unveil this mystery coin and whether or not I believe it's going to 10x right now in today's video. If you're new, welcome in. My name is Steve. On this channel, we do it different. Hit that subscribe button. You're gonna love it here. We talk about just the facts. Now, you might know what this coin is right away, because if you follow our channel, we covered this cross back in 2020 when there was so much hate about this chart. Everybody thought it was going to go substantially lower. We talked about this exact cross and it went up almost 10x. Now, here we are, present day. We just had this cross. We've got to cover this. Let's go back and talk about what's happening on this chart. Right now, we're on the weekly chart. It's a mystery coin, so I'm not going to unveil it yet. We're going to get to that later in the episode. But first, let's talk about the facts. Let's lay out a crystal clear picture. What we have on our chart is a green line, which is the 21 MA. And then we have this red line, which is the 50 MA. And we're looking for their crosses. Now, on the downside, they actually cross down as well. When the green crosses through the red, that spells that a long drawn out bear market is coming. And we covered this cross back in 2020, in February of 2022, when we had this cross. And we mentioned that prices will have a lot of trouble. And that's exactly what they did. So these two moving averages, the 21 and the 50, when they cross on the weekly, you can put it on any of your favorite coins and look at what's happening. This is a very big telltale sign of a larger market shift. And when you talk about a coin more than 10xing in 2017 and almost 10xing in 2020, we've got something on our hands that we need to investigate. But you can see if we go back to 2017, right? We were holding some resistance at this critical level here. We had this cross and we said goodbye to the resistance. In fact, it was just an absolute parabolic rise into the stratosphere. This was absurd, right? You can see how far price action got away from the red line. I mean, we weren't even close to it. What you want to see is prices start to really hold this red line and this green line as support. This parabolic rise was not sustainable. It was a parabolic rise. It was ridiculously large, but it all happened very, very quickly. If you go to 2020, you can see we had this cross in 2018 where we had this cross down, and hey, that spelled a long stretch of turmoil coming for this coin. And then we fast forward to 2020, we had this cross back when prices, were at about a quarter, about 25 cents, maybe a little bit less than 25 cents. We had this cross and we went up to almost $2, right? So we'll give it an 8x, right? If you do the math, 2017 was actually a 400x, which is insane. So we had a 400x after this cross in 2017, and then we had an 8x in 2020. These are the facts in the charts, right? This cross marks generally a parabolic rise, and we've got to cover it. Whether you love this coin or you hate this coin, who cares? If you love charts, you're here for the right reason. And if you're a fan of this coin, you better share it with every single living human, even cats, babies, whoever loves this coin, share it with everybody, because this is a major occurrence. Make no mistake about it. If you look at all of the facts right in front of us, it would be unequivocally stupid to argue otherwise, right? When we have these, look at these crosses, right? We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 of said crosses. All of them were the most major moves of this coin. Case in point, 2 of them were bullish, 2017, 2019, the largest moves. 2 of them were bearish, 2018, 2022. It would be impossible to deny this, and it would be relatively stupid to try to argue that this cross doesn't mean anything. now that I've gained your attention, we've got to talk about what this coin is, and do I think we're going to see a 10x? Now, when you look at it, there's a couple things to note. If we're talking about a 10x, we have to be realistic and looking only at the facts. If we went from about a 400x to an 8x, and if you look at the power of 2017 versus the power of 2020 versus where we're at now, we're kind of range bound at the moment. We're holding critical support at this level of about 31 cents, but it would be difficult for us to say it would 10x, right? It more than 10x here, it almost 10x here, but just looking at the trajectory, understanding the significance of diminishing returns by a specific factor of 5.3 for Bitcoin, we know that this bull run, that we believe we just entered phase 1 of this bull run, we know unequivocally this bull run is not going to be as powerful as the past bull runs, and we have all of the history to point to that. So would it be out of the ordinary for Bitcoin to have a 400x, an 8x, and then go to like a 20x? Yes, that wouldn't be as likely. Could it go to a 10x? It doesn't seem likely either. If we go from a 400x to an 8x, could we have a 2x, a 3x? Yeah, we could. Now, where would that get us in price, right? If we're at about 50 cents and in a 3x, it get us to about $1.50, and then we're up in this area with some problems of a double top. That could also be an issue that sends this coin range bound for multiple years. But I think you and I would agree that anybody would give their right arm for a 3x in any market, right? So would it be out of the ordinary for this to 3x? Hell no. Could it even do maybe a 4x? We'll talk about it, but I think a 10x is a bit of a stretch. Now, some people may read this title of the video and say, oh my God, Steve absolutely said undeniable that it's going to 10x or more. Oh my God, we got to sell the kids and put everything into this coin. I did not say that, and this is not financial advice. The picture I'm trying to paint in front of you is that this cross that we just had hot off the press, it's nothing to play with. We've had it 4 other times, 2 bullish, 2 bearish. They all were major, and it's time to pay attention. So now that we are understanding, I believe right now you have an inkling of what this coin is. It's a coin that I cover, maybe once or twice a year with the most important information. We covered right here on our channel when we had this cross last time, and we covered right here on our channel when we had this cross down. And back here in 2020, when we had this cross, everybody said in the comments, Steve, you're crazy. There's so much stuff happening and this coin is about to crash. And I said, well, we just have to look at the facts. The last time we did it was 2017 and we had a parabolic rise, and we were at that point in 2020 where everybody said, no way, Steve. We love your videos. You're right a lot of the times. This time you're wrong. And we had this cross and we 8x'd. 8x. I mean, people would give their right arm and probably a couple of their kids for an 8x. Let's be honest, right? 8x, that's pretty big, right? Now, 2023, we're here. Is it possible that this is a fake out? For sure. If you look at 2017, we had this kind of period where we sort of had a cross up and we sort of had a cross. It was really borderline. So if you fast forward a few weeks, if we get a couple more candles confirming and we've got a little bit of a more of a mouth open after a couple weeks, then we can proceed with even more confidence. But right now we have a cross. Could it come and crash down? It could, but we have to go with historical data that's in front of us. It's holding key support. It's held key support here at this 30 cents level, not for a month or a week or a couple weeks. It's been literally since June of last year. So since June of last year, it's held its market structure, which so happens to be its previous market structure. It's holding it as support. This is a very big sign. It held support through this whole time, and it just had this cross. I think it's time to unveil this coin, shall we? You probably put your guess in the comment. If you haven't done so already, put your guess in the comment. I also want to ask a critical question to you. I need your opinion here in a moment after I unveil the coin, but I want to see, are you right about this coin? And then do you agree with my synopsis? I think a 3x from here is obtainable. Is it going to 3x over the next week or two? It's not likely. But does this mean a more longer term move in a positive direction? It could very well be, right? Could it 8x? Maybe. We have to look at more facts in the charts. What I will say is I don't like this part. You look at 2018 when we had this bearish cross to 2020 having this bullish cross. We talk about how many days that was, that period. You're talking about almost 800 days. What I don't like is we are at 400 days. So the time from this bearish cross to this bullish, it tells us that maybe this bullish cross could send prices higher. However, it tells us that it may be short-lived. Maybe a few months from now, we come back up from our run up and come back and test this base. That could very well happen because this is a very short time period relative to its prior. So let's unveil it. This is, drum roll please, this is XRP USD on the weekly chart. Again, if you're an XRP fan, share this with every forum you know. If you like my videos and you're like, holy crap, Steve's covering XRP, I love it, share it with everybody. If you hate XRP, love the chart. It's hard to deny that XRP has had 4 said crosses and all of them were major. It's incredibly difficult to argue that. So hate it or love it, respect the charts, respect the cross. Now, I have a question for you. I'm trying to make this YouTube channel better and better and better. I test all sorts of stuff. This is the 6th year that this YouTube channel is here, and I want your opinion. In the comments right now, write one way that you believe I can make this channel better, right? And what I would really love, if you're like, hey, Steve, can you try these types of videos where you do X, Y, and Z? I would love these kind of ideas because let's face it, I just do Bitcoin. That's my lane. I stay in my lane. Sometimes I do videos like this when something major happens, but for the most part, Bitcoin is the big daddy. Bitcoin is the king. I like to study the king. I like to be laser focused on one thing, but in the comments down below, write one way I can make this channel better, and I'm going to bring it to another level. Our channel has been on absolute fire. Our Twitter is on fire. The FFA is on fire. We're on fire. And you're on fire. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you right back here in the next video. I look forward to your comments. Peace and love to the fellow underdogs. Do you want to know when to buy and when to sell? Click this video right now.